Damn, that was bad. But I should have saw it coming. Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be an epic rant, which I have not done in a while. It honestly feels kind of good to do an epic rant. I haven't done one in a very long time, but this is for a movie that I really did not want to review at all. As you guys know, I was very against this movie. I didn't even plan on watching this movie till, like, November. The only reason that I watched it now is because, as I said, Ouija Ordered Me was supposed to be my last Halloween-type movie that I review, but then, boom, this movie had to get leaked online, and my friend's like, alright, let's watch it together. I'm like, alright, we'll suffer together, because there are certain movies that I just can't watch, by myself, because they're just too horrible, and this is a perfect prime example of that, and that movie I'm going to be ranting on is none other than Madea Halloween. Let's just get right into this shit. By the way, guys, as you guys know, since May, I have been editing every single one of my videos. This is going to be the first video in a while that is completely unedited. No cuts, no pictures, no zoom-ins, nothing. I don't fucking care about this movie. Rants or whatever, and I'm just gonna do one take, because I do not care. I literally do not care. I don't script rants, and, let's just get right into this shit. But before I start this rant, let me just say right off the bat that I have nothing against, black people. I want to say that right now. I have nothing against Tyler Perry as an actor. My thoughts on this movie has nothing to do with the black community. It is me judging it as a movie. My thoughts on it have nothing to do with my beliefs. I am not a racist person. I know I reviewed Madea's Tough Love. The only reason I'm saying this is because I reviewed Madea's Tough Love, and literally almost every comment is people telling me I'm racist. I'm not a racist person. I respect everyone. I think that there are some very talented people out there who are black, and my thoughts on this movie have nothing to do with a race or anything like that. And sorry if this movie isn't for me, but let's just get right into this. First of all, let's get to the plot of Madea Halloween, which, what a plot, really. What a plot this is. The plot of this movie is so stupid. It really is so stupid. Basically, the plot doesn't even really involve Madea necessarily. It involves Brian, played by Tyler Perry, who is your stereotypical dad who's slowly losing control of his daughter. He's losing control of his daughter Tiffany, played by Diamond White. He feels that she is growing up too fast. She's going to go to a very adult party, and he's doing all in his power that he can to stop her. So he hires Madea and a bunch of other relatives to try to look after her and stop her and her friend from going to this party, but basically they decide that they want to get them to sleep so that way they can go to the party. So they come up with this belief that there's this guy, Mr. Wilson, that's going to come after them, and I guess hilarity ensues. That's basically the plot, and like I said, what a plot it is. It's not even much of a plot, and it's, believe it or not, is the least terrible thing about this movie, which sucks, but let's just get right into this, because the plot isn't even what I want to talk about. Let's first talk about the acting in this movie, because, God, I have a lot to say when it comes to the acting. Let's talk about Tyler Perry. Look, I have nothing against Tyler Perry as an actor. I think he's a really good actor when you give him really good stuff to do. He's shown many times that he can do really good stuff. Look at him in Gone Girl. Look at him in something that's not a Madea movie. And look at him in something that he doesn't write. Tyler Perry could be a very good actor. For some reason, though, he continues to do these kind of movies, and they don't showcase him well at all. I think that these movies really are just such a downgrade from what he should be doing. This is the perfect example of an actor that just is doing something that is just a lot better than what they're working with. And the character Madea, I've never found funny. I find her to be very one-note, very silly, and just a joke. I don't find her to be that great of a character. I don't find her to really be funny, and I laughed at almost nothing that she said. I mean, Perry, I guess, does a good job because he doesn't really break character or anything like that. But as Madea as a character, believe it or not, she's actually the least annoying character in this entire movie, which that's really saying something. I mean, the fact I'm saying Madea is not the worst really tells you how bad this movie is and really says a lot about it. I didn't dislike the character of Brian that Tyler Perry played, but it feels very weird to have Tyler Perry playing himself and then playing Madea. They feel like two very different characters. So I will say the guy definitely does have a range, but these characters are terrible. I mean, Madea is your stereotypical black grandma, and that's the thing I don't like about Madea. I find her to be very stereotypical, and I'm surprised that so many people like this character. I find it to be just a joke, really. I don't find it to be funny. I find it to be a joke in the sense that the character in general is just a joke. I can't believe this is actually a thing. It's ridiculous. And Brian is your stereotypical pushover father who does, just won't put his foot down and trying to discipline his daughter and everything. So I found him to really be very annoying. Even him, he's a character that I could have liked, but he's just very stereotypical. And then Uncle Joe in this movie, the other character that Tyler Perry plays, is also fucking horrible. They make him seem like he's saying the funniest shit, but he's really not at all. I really was not a fan of him. He was pretty bad. Definitely not a fan of any of those characters. But that's nothing compared to the rest of the cast in this movie, which, wow, they're bad. I mean, Tyler Perry is the least worst thing about this movie. That's because I think he's the only actor in this movie that actually churns somewhat of a good performance. He definitely is trying, I'll say that. He's definitely trying, and it definitely is there, but that's because he's played these characters so long. I feel like at this point, Tyler Perry is not really doing it for the money. He's doing it because he clearly sees that these movies are popular, and he's trying to put as much into them as possible, so I will definitely give him that. But I don't know why. Why do you keep making these movies? They're just not really servicing him at all. Cassie Davis in this movie, Medea's cousin, Aunt Bam, I didn't find her funny at all. Most of the jokes is her making fun of how she has this marijuana addiction, how she's done all these outlandish things, and any scene between her and Madea is completely unwatchable. I found her to be just really annoying. I hate everything about her. But that is nothing compared to the absolute worst character in this movie, which is Patricia Lovey as Hattie Mae Love. Just anything this character said. I don't even want to say how bad this character is, but give me anything that this character said, I hated. I thought this character was annoying. I thought this character was not offensive, just had this really intolerable voice, and anything they did with her wasn't funny. It's funny in the sense of this is that one that's trying way too hard, and definitely I thought she was really, really bad here. I really did not get into her character at all. She was pretty terrible, and I don't think really any of them really gave performance. Everyone really sucked there. Diamond White in this movie plays Brian's daughter, Tiffany. By the way, I don't know why Bella Thorne is the fourth cast member in this movie. She's barely in it. She's in it for max maybe like 15 minutes. I don't know why she's here, but Diamond White in this movie as Tiffany is a character that they want you to like, but everything about her is just so unlikable. I mean, she hates she hates everything about her father. She completely defies him for no reason other than she wants to be rebellious. Not really given any other reason why she so dislikes her father. She doesn't listen to Madea. She wants to torture the old people. I mean, there's just no one likable in this movie. And that's my problem, is that there's not a single likable or redeemable character in this movie. Everything is so mean-spirited, and I couldn't stand really anyone, and everyone in this movie just got worse and worse as they went on. FouseyTube is in this movie. FouseyTube. That is when you know this movie is bad. I'm not going to try to diss FouseyTube because I know he's a YouTuber, but FouseyTube is in this, and that's when you know that this movie is really bad. I thought the cast here was terrible. They really all gave really bad performances, and they're not even the worst thing about it, though, honestly. The cast is not the worst thing. The worst thing here is the directing and the writing, because wow, did Tyler Perry get it wrong here. I mean, the directing in this movie, the tone is consistent, at least, I will say that, but the tone of this movie is just so broken. This movie in general does not feel like a movie. It feels like a rejected episode of Family Matters, but say that all the characters in Family Matters were as annoying as Urkel were. That is this movie. That is everything about this. I mean, most of this movie are people talking in a living room, discussing racist things, talking about ridiculous reasons for ways for Brian to discipline his daughter. I mean, that's 90% of this movie, and it's ridiculous. The tone in this movie is completely all over the place. I mean, it's not funny. The jokes, not a single joke hits. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't laugh once in this movie. once, and that never happens, but I did not laugh once during this entire movie. I really hated everything about it. I think that and then they try to get dramatic in the second half, and it does not work at all. There is this ridiculously overly dramatic scene involving Brian trying to discipline Tiffany, and it might be one of the most unintentionally funny things I've seen in a while. I thought that it was just so bad. I thought it was the perfect way for Tyler Perry to, you could tell this was Tyler Perry's way of, trying to get the emotion. They're trying to get to care with these characters, but all he really did is just make the movie more pathetic, and I don't really think it worked that well at all. I think the tone definitely was not working there. Let's get to the writing, though, because this movie in general is just so broken. It really is. And what I mean by broken is that even if this movie had good actors, they'd still have nothing to work with. It still would be shitty. Maybe these actors are good, I don't know, but it's probably because of the writing. The writing in this movie, like I said, feels like a sitcom. It doesn't feel like a movie at all. I can't believe this is actually a movie. In fact, I thought this movie was a stage play because it does seem like a stage play. I think it'd be a perfectly competent stage play. Would I like the stage play? No. But this movie, the writing in this movie is so all over the place, and so many scenes just go on for so long, and there's some horrible messages in this movie. Honestly, the messages in this movie are pretty downright terrible. This movie is telling people to, prank the elderly and just do all these ridiculous things and discipline your daughter in these ridiculous ways. Just everything the movie says and everything it stands for is so inherently wrong, and it seems like Tyler Perry just didn't really care about that. I think the writing in this was just really bad. All the dialogue was just so boring, honestly. The movie in general, when it's not funny, it's just boring. It really is, and that really did not work at all. I thought the writing here, it just got very, not repetitive is not the word, just very same. I mean, most of the scenes are, like I said, them in the living room, and then when they try to do this stuff in the second half, it's even worse. I mean, there is a scene in this movie, and I'm not lying, where Madea screams, "Help me, Jesus," and that leads her to go into a church where she sees everyone to, I guess, protect herself from this demon. I mean, that is the perfect example of the humor in this movie. All of the humor in this movie is lowest common denominator. I mean, think of the worst joke you could possibly think of, and that is the joke they make in this movie. And the jokes in this movie, they're just not really jokes. They're the guy in the corner who's trying to fit in and telling bad jokes because he doesn't really have a social life. That's what these jokes are. And I know Tyler Perry can be better than this, honestly. I know he can. Maybe he's just not a funny guy. Maybe he's just not. Maybe he just doesn't know how to write humor. Some people don't, and that might be what it is, but I just don't know. Nothing about it was funny. I found it to be very offensive. I found the humor to be very racist, and it's overly racist too. I mean, there's so much racist humor in this movie. There's so much offensive stuff, and it's really just there, I think, to get people to pay attention and be like, holy shit, they actually said that. Oh my god, that's so funny. It's not funny. It's just that it's just offensive, really. There's nothing funny about the jokes in this movie, and I don't know why they thought it was funny. I didn't find anything funny, really. I couldn't find anything funny. I tried. I couldn't find anything funny. There wasn't really anything funny to hear. There wasn't really any jokes to be, to be had, and there just didn't really work at all. The cinematography in this movie is very, very cheap. You can tell they really did not have much to work with here. The budget in this movie feels like something off of a YouTube. Honestly, there are parts of this movie that felt like a YouTube Red film. I'm not going to lie. The cinematography here is basically most of the cinematography, it's either these really 90s close-up shots of a house that made me feel like I was watching Full House because they kept closing on the house, or it's this really bad setting outside with really bad green screen. You can tell, I mean, the setting in this movie is terrible. The cinematography, they did a horrible job with, and it's just not interesting. It's so same, and I can't really fault it, because again, they didn't have much to work with. The cinematography really was pretty bad. The music in this movie as well, it seems very much like something out of a sitcom, and it seemed like they tried to do that. I don't know why they did that, though. It seemed like, to me, they couldn't, like, fault away from that. Like, they could have easily found a way to not make this like a sitcom by having actual good music, but no, most of the music just feels like I'm watching a television sitcom, and I just thought it was really weird the way it was done. Tyler Perry already has 2 sitcoms on TBS. I mean, why not just just put this as a special. I don't know why he didn't do that, but very strange the way that was done. And then the editing in this movie, oh my god, the editing is bad here. I mean, when I say the editing is bad, I mean the editing is fucking shit. It really is. I mean, most of the scenes in this movie go on for almost 10 minutes, and they're absolute torture. I mean, when there's nothing funny being said, and it's people in a living room talking, trying to tell Brian how to discipline his daughter, telling him to throw her off a roof, telling her to hit her over the head with a hammer. I'm not joking. These are actual scenes in the movie. These are actual pieces of dialogue. When stuff like that is being said, it's just boring, and it was absolute torture. I don't know why this movie was so long. This movie could have easily been 80 minutes, and I would not have cared. If the movie was 80 minutes long, I would have been like, okay, it's serviceable. At least it went on for a short amount of time. But no, this movie just keeps going and going and going and going. And it takes almost an hour for the scary stuff to actually happen. The stuff you saw in the trailer isn't even till an hour into the movie. It's absolute bullshit. It's so tedious, and I don't know why they did this. It is probably the worst editing I've seen all year. All the pacing in this movie is just horribly edited. I don't know who did the editing in this movie, but a lot of the editing felt like it was in the deleted scenes portion. You know the extended scenes you see on DVD? A lot of times I felt like that's what I was watching. I felt like I was watching an extended edition of the movie, not the actual full version. It felt like these are the things that they should have cut out, but no, it just kept going. And I don't know why. There was nothing funny being said. There was nothing happening. It felt like it was just there to stall things because they didn't really know what else to do, so they just kept the joke going. And if that's when you know, it just gets tiring after a while. It really does. And really was just so annoying. I hated the way that was done. Hated everything about the editing. Really, really bad, honestly. Not at all a fan of that. And then the ending to this movie. Once again, we have another cop-out of an ending. It's not a dream this time, but I'm going to spoil it because I don't give a shit about this movie. If you guys, for some reason, care about Boo Madea Halloween, do not watch the rest of this review. Just don't watch it. I don't know why you guys would care. This movie apparently has dedicated fan base because it made so much fucking money at the box office. It was #1. I don't know why it's #1. Go see Ouija. Go see something else. Don't see this bullshit. If you care, whatever. Just don't. I don't really care. But, either way, let's just get into it. So, as we know, we are led to believe in this entire movie that there is actually maybe a Mr. Wilson, that maybe someone's actually going after them. We don't really know. I would have actually liked it if the movie ended with someone getting killed off. I think it actually could have been funny if they did that. I think it would have worked in this movie, and especially with how mean-spirited the movie was, I would have liked that. But then to find out that this essentially ends like a That's So Raven episode, one of my favorite That's So Raven episodes, let me just say, with, oh no, this wasn't, nothing was actually going on. This was all an elaborate prank by not just the brothers, but also Brian, apparently, who called in actual police officers, who was behind, who basically was in on it the entire time, and it makes no sense whatsoever. If Brian doesn't want his daughter to be hanging out with these brothers, why the hell was he in cahoots with them? What was he trying to achieve here? Why was he trying to make Madea, Maybelle, and, why was he trying to make Madea, and Bam, all of them? Why was he trying to make them go crazy? It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and to me, it seemed like they just didn't know how to end the movie, so they just ended it there, and that, to me, was just so lazy. I don't know why they did that. Like I said, this is the equivalent of a That's So Raven episode. The difference is that is a sitcom TV show that's 21 minutes long. You know the characters aren't actually going to get killed. In this movie, you could have actually ended with that because it's a movie. It doesn't really matter. These movies don't connect, and this would have been the perfect time to do that. I don't know why they didn't do that. They could have easily ended that way. I don't know why they ended in this ridiculous way. Madea movies just keep ending worse and worse, and I don't know why the movie ended. That ending in general just really ruined the entire movie for me. With, everyone just, running away from the officers or whatever. I was so not into the ending, and maybe there's something wrong with it, but if I'm wrong about the ending, I don't care. I honestly don't. I got so disinterested in this movie that if I'm wrong, fine, but if that's really the ending, either way, the ending was all a hoax in the end, so I really was not a fan of the way the movie ended. Why he called actual police officers, I don't know. I thought it was dumb. The fact that a day wasn't killed, I mean, who cared about a day anyway? I didn't, so I don't know why they ended the movie in the way they did. This movie is horrible. It really is. This movie absolutely sucked. I hated everything about Boo Madea Halloween. I don't want to talk about this movie again. I actually wanted to like this movie, I'm not gonna lie. I was hoping that this would be better than Medea's Tough Love. It's right up there. I don't think it's better or worse. I think it is right up there. I don't even count Medea's Tough Love as a movie, really, because it's an hour long. This movie was longer than that. It felt like 3 hours. It really did. I was not into this movie at all. And definitely Boo Madea Halloween, I'm obviously going to give it a 0.5 out of 5 or an F. I hated this movie. For sure will be on my top 10 worst movies of the year list. Definitely look forward to that. Probably in my top 5, definitely. Not at all looking forward to watching more shitty movies. But anyways, guys, that's it for this review. Let me know what you guys saw of this movie. Again, I apologize if you guys like Madea. I'm sorry. The humor just doesn't appeal to me. I don't find it funny. I find it offensive. I find it stupid. And I just have never really found it funny. So if you guys find it funny, that's fine. More power to you if you do. But I just don't really give a shit about it. I don't want to see Tyler Perry do another Madea movie. I want to see him do more stuff than Gone Girl. He can do better than this, and it's time for him to stop doing this Madea nonsense because it's just not doing him any good. I know, again, this has a loyal fan base. Clearly, people are seeing it. I don't know why people saw this movie over Ouija. That's kind of weird. Why would you see a Madea movie? I was not all into this. This movie didn't really have much promotion, so I don't really know why so many people saw this, but either way, I don't really want to talk about this movie anymore. If you guys like this movie, fine. I just don't give a shit. But that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoy it. I promise you guys my next video will be a lot better. Will be for a review of The Walking Dead, which hopefully is better than this. The worst part of this is that I still have a bunch of worse movies to watch, which that's what most of November is going to be. It's going to be all the shitty movies because damn do I have a lot to watch. And I will see you guys in my next video. Okay, bye. Fuck my life.